Hey guys, texting the girl you like shouldn't be your downfall. Yet, countless men blow their chances with dull, thoughtless messages that scream low value. Today I'm revealing the 7 fatal mistakes most men make when texting and how to avoid them to keep her intrigued, engaged, and excited. The first and most critical mistake men make when texting is failing to create emotion. Women thrive on emotional connections, even through a simple text. Sending generic messages like, "Hey, what's up?" or "How are you?" does nothing to differentiate you from the dozens of other guys messaging her. You have to stand out, and that starts with adding some spice to your texts. Instead of asking, "What are you doing?" say something playful like, "Are you saving the world today?" or just plotting your next big adventure. This shows you're creative, confident, and genuinely interested in making the conversation fun. Next, let's talk about mistake number 2, not planning for her responses. Imagine you send her a question like, "What's your favorite type of music?" She replies, "Pop. What's your next move?" If you haven't thought about follow-up questions or ways to keep the conversation flowing, you'll hit a dead end fast. Always anticipate where the conversation could go. If she says she likes pop music, you can respond with, "That's awesome. Who's your favorite artist? Have you ever been to one of their concerts?" By having a plan, you avoid awkward silences and keep her engaged. Mistake number 3 is responding too quickly. This is one of the biggest turnoffs because it screams desperation. Texting should have a natural rhythm, not feel like a race to reply. When you respond immediately every time, you remove the element of mystery. She knows you're just sitting around waiting for her reply, which makes you seem less interesting. Instead, take your time occasionally, match her response speed, or even take a little longer. Use that time to focus on your life, hobbies, or goals. This not only makes you seem busy and desirable, but also creates anticipation, which can heighten her interest in you. Now let's dive into mistake number 4, failing to build a connection. Texting isn't just about exchanging words, it's about showing genuine interest in her world. Look at her social media profiles. What are her hobbies, interests, or passions? Use that as a springboard for your conversations. If she loves traveling, you could ask, "What's the most amazing place you've ever been to?" Or if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? These questions go beyond the surface and show her you're curious about who she is, not just what she looks like. This creates a deeper bond and sets you apart from other guys who stick to shallow topics. Another crucial mistake, and one many guys overlook, is neglecting their online presence. This brings us to mistake number 5, having a weak profile. Your profile picture, bio, and posts play a massive role in how she perceives you before she even replies. If your profile picture is blurry, awkward, or just plain unappealing, she might not even bother to open your message. A strong profile shows that you're someone worth engaging with. Choose a profile picture where you look confident and approachable. Keep your bio simple but interesting, and make sure your posts reflect your personality and interests. Think of your profile as a highlight reel of who you are. It should make her curious to learn more. Mistake number 6 is dragging conversations on too long. Imagine you're having a face-to-face conversation and the energy starts to fade. Would you keep talking just to fill the silence? Of course not. The same rule applies to texting. If the conversation starts to lose momentum, don't force it. Instead, gracefully end it with something like, "Hey, I've got to go, but let's catch up later." This leaves her wanting more and keeps the interaction fresh and engaging. And remember, you don't need to text her all day, every day. Quality over quantity is key. Finally, mistake number 7, overthinking everything. This is where so many guys get stuck. They analyze every word, emoji, or delay in her responses, driving themselves crazy in the process. Stop overcomplicating things. Texting should be enjoyable, not stressful. If she takes a while to reply, it's probably because she's busy, not because she's lost interest. Instead of overanalyzing, focus on being natural and spontaneous. The less you worry about the perfect response, the more authentic and attractive you'll come across. Building on the idea of creating emotion in your messages, let's expand on how to make your texts irresistible. Humor is one of the best tools you can use. A funny or witty message can instantly make her smile and associate positive feelings with you. For example, if she posts about loving coffee, you could text, I'm starting to think your coffee addiction might be more serious than mine. Should we form a support group? It's playful, shows personality, and keeps the mood light. Remember, women are more likely to respond to someone who can make them laugh and brighten their day. When it comes to planning your responses, don't just think about what you'll say. Think about the energy of the conversation. If she seems enthusiastic about a topic, dive deeper into it. If she mentions a hobby or passion, ask thoughtful follow-up questions. For instance, if she talks about yoga, you could say, "That's awesome. How did you get into yoga? I've always heard it's great for the mind and body. Have you noticed any big changes since you started?" This not only shows interest, but also keeps the conversation flowing naturally. Let's revisit the concept of response timing. It's not just about avoiding desperation, it's about creating intrigue. For example, if she sends you a message and you wait a little before replying, it gives her time to think about you and wonder what you're doing. But don't take this to the extreme. There's a difference between being busy and playing games. A good rule of thumb is to match her energy. If she's quick to reply, you can be too. If she takes her time, mirror that behavior. This subtle balance keeps things exciting. Building a connection doesn't have to be complicated. Focus on shared interests and genuine curiosity. If she's into fitness, ask her what motivates her to stay consistent. If she's passionate about art, ask which piece or style speaks to her the most. The goal is to create a space where she feels comfortable opening up and sharing more about herself. This makes her feel seen and valued, which is incredibly attractive. Your online presence is often the first impression she gets of you, so don't underestimate its power. Beyond just having a good profile picture, think about the vibe your profile gives off. Are you showcasing your hobbies, travels, or accomplishments? Do your posts reflect your personality and lifestyle? A well-curated profile tells her you're someone with depth and interests, making her more likely to engage with you. And don't forget, keep things positive. Avoid posting anything overly negative or controversial that could turn her off before the conversation even starts. Knowing when to end a conversation is an underrated skill. Sometimes less is more. If the energy starts to dip, don't force the interaction to continue. Instead, leave on a high note. For example, if you're talking about travel and she shares a funny story, you could respond with, "That's hilarious. Let's talk more about your travel adventures later. I've got to run, but this was fun." Ending the conversation when it's still interesting makes her look forward to hearing from you again. Overthinking is often the biggest obstacle to successful texting. Many guys fall into the trap of dissecting every message, trying to decode hidden meanings or worrying about the perfect reply. This creates unnecessary stress and makes the interaction feel forced. Instead, approach texting with a relaxed mindset. Treat it like a casual conversation with a friend. If she takes time to reply, don't panic or bombard her with follow-ups. Use that time to focus on your own life, whether it's hitting the gym, working on a project, or spending time with friends. Confidence comes from knowing you're not dependent on her response to feel good about yourself. Remember, texting is just a tool to build interest and connection. It's not the entire game. The ultimate goal is to move from texting to real-life interaction. Once you've established a good rapport through messages, don't be afraid to suggest meeting up. For instance, you could say, talking about all this coffee has made me crave a good latte. We should grab one sometime. What do you think? It's casual, confident, and gives her a clear reason to say yes. Texting isn't about perfection. It's about showing her who you are in a way that's fun and engaging. By avoiding these 7 mistakes, you'll naturally stand out from the crowd and create the kind of connection that leads to something real. So go ahead, be bold, be playful, and most importantly, be yourself. She'll notice.